Hi there. How you doing? I hope you're well. My name is Stacey and I like old stuff. So today I'm going to talk to you about tintypes. Tintypes are a type of photography that evolved around the 1850s and 60s and 1870s. They were used in 1860s a lot, and it refers to a type of photography that was done on metal. And this type was very prevalent until a little later in the 19th century when more advances were made in photography. And you started seeing the photos on paper and cardboard like substance, and they were a little bigger. They were called cabinet cards, and I've spoken about those in other videos and shared them. The tintype started to kind of fizzle out in the early 20th century, but they were still being used in the late 1800s and into the early 1900s as kind of a novelty. They were very prevalent at sideshows and fairs, wherever tourists would go. They were tintypes because the method of developing them was quicker than in other photography. It only took minutes as opposed to waiting a long time with other types of photos at the time. So you could get your photo taken and actually wait for it to be ready in a few minutes, maybe longer than that. I don't know exactly how long, but it wasn't long. And you would take a photo of yourself home from the event you were at or the tourist place you were visiting. So I have a few of these here with me. I do collect these on occasion. You could find them in antique shops. You could find them on eBay. eBay has a lot of them. The prices of them vary. It all depends on condition, of course. And it depends on subject matter. Of course, if you have a famous person in the picture, they're going to be worth more. So they tend to be on this thin type of metal with sharp edges, so you want to watch your fingers when you're handling them. Like I said, the conditions of them vary. A lot of mine have some dents and scratches on them, and they're bent, but I kind of like that because it adds more character to them and makes them look even older. So, here is one of my tintypes. And you can see it's three ladies. And you could see some of the detail on that, on their hair and their dresses. Given the style, I would guess around the early 1900s, maybe 1905, somewhere around there, but I can't be sure. And there was a background there. The backgrounds were used very commonly. Photographers got really creative and started using backgrounds and props and whatnot in the early 1900s, and actually they started doing that in the late 19th century. Photography really caught on, and photographers were really experimenting and using various backgrounds and props and anything to make it interesting and attractive to customers. So this is another one. This is one of my favorites. Now, another downside to the tintype is not only are they small, as you can see, they're not very big at all. but they're very dark. And so you need to have a lot of light on them to see the details. And I have a large light next to me right now, so you can see it better. And you can see some of the details, the pleating in the skirts, and the fabric patterns, and the hats, and the parasols. They've got parasols. And once again, there's a background. I really like this picture because of all the different kinds of material the ladies are wearing. I just really like that. And I'm not sure of the date of this. I would guess maybe 1900, but I'm not positive. Sometimes it's hard to tell. There is nothing written on the back of these that indicates the year or who these people are, but I like them. And now one of my favorites is 3 young ladies, possibly sisters, posing in their swimwear in front of a beach scene. This leads me to believe this photographer might have been at a shore town and set up his shop for the tourists at this shore town. And these girls decided to partake and put on their swimwear and pose. Now, I don't know if you could see this, but what I really like about this photo is that they're smiling. And you don't see too much of smiling in old photographs because it took a long time for the shot to take, and they had to hold still, and it's hard to hold a smile for a long amount of time. But they look very happy, and I love the swimsuits of that era. They're wearing wool. The swimsuits of that time were made of wool. They wore wool stockings, and everything was covered up. You couldn't see anything. And most of them, a lot of them look like this style, kind of like a sailor suit kind of style, because you were going to the beach, you were going to the water. We see kind of a throwback to this kind of thing today. I'm seeing swim skirts and swim dresses even. Not quite exactly like this, and of course I don't think those stockings will ever come back, but people are covering up now, more nowadays, not because it's improper for a woman to go bare, but because today we know more about the sun and the damage it could cause in regards to skin cancer and stuff like that. So we know we're supposed to protect ourselves. But I just love this photo, absolutely. I can't tell their ages. I would guess maybe early teens, preteen to early teens. But this is just a sweet picture. And I think the one over here, she looks the happiest to me. She's got a big smile on there. So that is my discussion on tintypes. Now, besides photographs, I collect whatever strikes me, and I was shopping at a flea market recently, and I saw this antique bottle. And it's an antique bottle, Milk of Magnesia. I'm sure you're all familiar with that product. And I'm just going to read what it says. It says Milk of Magnesia, and it's got a trademark in the middle. it says, received in U.S. Patent Office, August 21st, 1906. The Charles Phillips Chemical Company, that's who makes milk of magnesia, in Glenbrook, Connecticut. So, this product has been around since 1905, or 1906 rather. It's in pretty good shape, and at the bottom are is a stamp. It's stamped with the numbers, and it's stamped USA. It's made in the USA. And you can actually look up the bottle that you buy, Google the description and the markings on the bottle, and it will tell you if it's valuable or not. Now, this isn't really too valuable. I bought it for $10. And I've seen them on eBay range in price from $10 and above, even a couple $100. Now, it all depends, like I said, on the condition. That's always a big one. If it's in mint condition, of course, it's going to be more expensive. But you could find bottles like this in antique stores. Once again, eBay. I found this one at a flea market that was not strictly antique and vintage. It was a mix of vintage and new things, and it was a huge flea market. And I think I was lucky to find this, and I just love this color blue a lot. So, Phillips Milk of Magnesia. There you go. I'll give you a close-up of this, see? There you go. That's the trademark here. And then the patent date. And the company and location of the company. I'm kind of partial to the colored glass bottles, but there's a lot of the clear bottles out there floating around in the antique shops everywhere, so it's a neat thing to collect. And of course you could put anything in there if you so desire. And I toured somebody's old house, and they actually opened it up for people to tour, and they had a collection of bottles like these, all different old antique bottles, in a cabinet. It looked like an old medicine cabinet where they kept all these, and I thought that was such a cool look. And you could do that in your bathroom. You could buy even a small set of shelves or a small case and just hang it on your wall and load it up with antique bottles, and it'll look really cool. So I'm thinking about doing that. So that is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my little lecture, and I encourage you to tune in next time. And remember to share your collectibles with people, no matter what they are. Share them. If you keep them to yourself and nobody sees them, that's kind of pointless. Your collection is a museum, and people should see your museum. And you should be very proud of your museum. Till next time, thank you very much. Bye.